All right. I'm going to begin by just getting ourselves positioned in our seats. However we're sitting, we want to just make sure that our feet are about hips width apart. You can take your two fists, press them together, hug the inner arches of your knees around, hug the inner arches of your knees around your fists. And you should be able to see like a capital H. If you see the capital H, you know that your feet are parallel and also that your toes and your heels are completely on the ground and supported. And now as you start to close the eyes, start to just notice the breath. Notice the body all the way to the feet. And take a few moments to just get a sense of the temperature. That just means how you're feeling right now in the present moment. And this is as a whole person, collectively, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and anything else, mentally. And then start to just give yourself the opportunity to be here, be present, moment by moment, without the need to adjust any of these things in your life or feelings. You want to set an intention for this class, you can do so now. One that I always like to suggest is that we always honor our bodies and respect our bodies. Right? So if there's anything that's offered throughout this class that you do not feel comfortable doing, you do not have to do it. So notice what that feels like in terms of making that decision for yourself to honor yourself throughout this full practice. So maybe start to sit up a little bit straighter in the seat. Allow the vertebrae to stack all the way up the spinal body to the neck. Relax the shoulders. Maybe even the weight falls down the sides. If you want to bring your hands and drop them down by the sides, you can. If you happen to notice any sounds around you that can be part of this practice in a way that it's calming, you're welcome to bring that into your awareness. And on the next exhale, we're going to collectively breathe in and out together. So we want to get all the stale air out of our body. Navel sucks down to the spine. Inhale and breathe in. Belly body fills up with air. Exhale. Chest starts to decompress. The belly sinks, navel to the spine. We're going to add a count to this. Inhale and breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now if you like, you can take a hand and place it on the belly. And now feel your breath with this steady rhythm. Take another 2 breaths on your own, allowing the inhale to be shorter than the exhale. And if you need to adjust the count, go for it. Bring the hands back down by the side, and we're going to go straight into some yoga, but we're going to do it with our eyes closed to start. And we're going to start with the neck body. So take the chin Tuck it into the chest. Now, it doesn't have to touch, but when you are bringing your head forward and your chin is getting closer and closer to the chest body, you'll start to notice your upper body wants to lean forward. Challenge yourself to try to keep the spine aligned and only your chin tucks to the chest. And we're going to take our right ear and just kind of roll it over to the right shoulder. Our arms are completely lax. There's no force. There's no tension. And then we're going to exhale and come back to the center. Roll that head over towards the left side. Again, arms are completely lax. And then come back to center. Breathe in. One breath, one movement, right ear to the right shoulder. And then roll right through the center, come to the other side, left ear. Inhaling and exhaling, and I want you to just focus your attention and energy on how your count is going to be for this head roll. So take about another 4 head rolls and just find this sense of your pace. Getting an idea if you like to go slow or fast or something in between. Just noticing that this is your preference. And giving yourself permission to honor that preference. And then back down to the center we go. And we want to do some head rolls so that we actually are now taking our chin towards the ceiling. So bring your hands to your thighs. They're gently touching the top of your thighs. They're not active. They're not doing anything else. Gently, we're going to lean the body forward. But then we're going to take the chin and lift it up towards the ceiling. Now you don't have to drop your head all the way back. You're just going to take your gaze up towards the ceiling. Then we're going to start to push in the chest and start to just gently pull back on the back body. So it's like we're doing cat-cows, and I just want to bring this over to the side for you. Okay? Matter of fact, seems like we can see better here. So it's like we're doing cat-cows, but we're not really putting that much energy into it. It's like just a gentle up and down movement. Nothing more, nothing less. We're not pushing our chest forward. We're not pulling back, trying to go for that full extension for the cat-cow. We're just gently loosening the neck and the shoulder body. And your belly is pivoting forward and back, so that's good. It starts to open up that hip area. Do 2 more of those, but matching the breath to the movement, and then come back up. Nice, straight body, nice straight spine. Great. Good job. Arms are going to come out to the side. Extend those out like you're stretching for the first time in the morning. So really stretch it out. Let the fingertips elongate. Shoulders are maybe a little loose. Maybe you can even loosen them up a little bit more with just moving them up and down, giving them a little mobility. Okay? And we can actually start to roll back. So roll the right shoulder back, then the left. Roll the right, then the left. Breathe in and breathe out. Don't forget to breathe. And then we're going to reverse. So we're going to come forward. It's like we're swimming. And that's the best way I can give you this movement. But try to keep your arms still out. You can soften the elbows. They don't have to be so straight. 2 more. I know it's like, ah. And then bring the hands down by the side. Arms are going to lift up, reach up overhead. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale to the count of 4. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, arms lift up. Reach up. Roll the shoulders away from the ears on the pause in between the breath. And then hands come down to the 4, 3, 2, 1. For the next 2, I want you to find your own breath and find your own count doing this, okay? So You've done this enough to know what the pauses, where the pauses are, where the inhale and the exhale is. Find it yourself and notice your rhythm. Make sure you just do 2 more. If you end up finishing before everybody else, you can just come back into that seated position and just wait for us to join you. We'll be there momentarily. Beautiful. And we just want to kind of take our body and twist it to the left and to the right. Breathe in and breathe out. And now we're going to take our hands and start to press it forward. Okay? All right, so we're pressing forward. Our hands, you see my hand is going back. It's extending more and more. Just 2 more on this side. We'll pause and then we'll go to the other side. Drop the hands down, relax the shoulders. Breathe in, breathe out. And then let's do that again. Hands extend out, but this time hold it for a moment. Inhale and breathe in, sit up out the pelvic bowl. Come back to center, and your hands just reverse. And now the left hand goes back, the right hand goes forward. Come back to center, make it 1 breath, 1 movement. So now you're kind of uniformed with the breath, you kind of have direction, and it kind of changes the way this pose works for you. Right? Good job, guys. I see you. 1 more. Good job. Hands come by the side and just let them relax for a second. And we're going to go through our first flow, and that's going to really help our body and our hands to really relax in those shoulders, okay? So arms will lift up to start. Look up, gaze up. Exhale slowly. Start to press your belly and your chest towards your thighs. Yeah, there you go. Drop your hands in front of you. You drop them in front of you and drop your chin to your chest. And then just let your chin connect to the chest. Let your chest can be carried by the strength of your thighs. Your whole mid-body can actually just feel supported from your thighs and your feet. And breathe in and breathe out. And maybe take the shoulders and just swing them back and forth. There you go. Really let them loose. They just did a lot of work, so let them relax. Slowly, we're going to start to half lift flat back, and we're only coming halfway. We're going to start to squeeze our belly, squeeze our core, that area. Allow the breath to still come fluidly through the body, but you want to use your belly muscles. Lift up out of the pelvic bowl, lift your chest up high, proud chest. Chest comes up high, we lift up, we're looking up. Hands are behind us, and they could be facing each other. Some people prefer to have them kind of tilted. It doesn't matter. Just go for your half lift, flat back. And then on the exhale, slowly come down, bringing the belly towards the thighs. In your next inhale, I want you to really press into the ground with your feet and help you use the feet and the abs to help lift you up. Coming up overhead. We're going to keep our hands here, roll the shoulders away from the ears, interlace the fingers, and press the palms up towards the ceiling. Just stay here for a second. We're going to take our body and pivot it over towards the right, and then look up, pivoting the elbow back so that the elbow on the left elbow goes towards the back of you. And when you look up, you can actually see inside of your arm. Now we come back to center, and we're going to lean to the left. Right elbow comes back. We pivot back on that right shoulder, and when we take our gaze up, we see the inside of the right arm. Come back to center, and gently hands come down. But this time when they come down by the sides, we're going to bring them right behind us and kind of pull back. Okay? Now you don't have to do a lot, but I always give people the option to really go forward or to find their range, more so by just kind of gripping onto their clothes. So there's a number of ways that you can do it. So just find it yourself and continue to breathe, and then bring your hands back and just shake it out. Beautiful. So now we're going to start to hold poses a little bit longer, and then we're going to do a flow in between. All right, so we did our nice yoga warm-up. We're going to take our hands, lift them up overhead, roll the shoulders away, and we're going to start the class off with 3 flows. Okay, so start to lift up out the pelvic bowl. I'll walk you through the first 2. The last one will be your own. Look up, gaze up, come down, belly presses towards the thighs. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Now you know you can either keep your hands coming by the side, or you can bring your hands down to the heart center. However you flow is up to you. Hands come back up, look up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise, reach up, mountain pose. It's a beautiful mountain too. Take the last one on your own. I'm going to demo it. You know you got it. Maybe even close your eyes and trust yourself. Breathing in and out so much so that you can hear your own breath. Allow it to keep you guided. You know you can do it. And come back to center. And if you happen to be finished before everybody else, just come and kind of dangle your arms. Beautiful, beautiful. Arms are going to lift up once again, but this time I want you to wiggle your right fingertips. Okay, you're going to take those right fingertips and you're going to just try to walk them down your shoulder blades. Your left fingertips are going to come to the top of your right elbow. Okay, and you're just going to pull that arm down a little bit. Now, keep your right arm here. I want you to take your left hand and bring it behind you. And if you can grip the fingers, great, okay? So this is what it looks like. You're sitting down though. If not, you can just grab your clothes. Now, I will tell you, one side is always a little bit more tense and tight than the other. Continue to sit up nice and tall. And then we're going to unwind those arms. Hands come by the side. Come back up. Wiggle the left fingertips. The left fingertips come down to the shoulder. The right hand comes on top of that elbow. And you're just going to push it down. Stay there for a second. And breathe. And then take that right hand, bring it behind you. And if you can go and grip the fingertips, great. Now my side, this side is always the side that I can grip. But the other side I cannot grip. So it could be the same for you, or you can just grab onto the clothes. Sit up a little bit taller. And then undo the arms. Hands come by the side. Good job. All right. Breathe in and breathe out. I want you to take a moment to just feel your body from the crown of the head down to the feet. Noticing how you're feeling, noticing if there's anything that needs to be addressed. And that's what we're about to do in this next moment, okay? So just start to notice how your legs feel, your belly, right? There's probably a pose that you want to do that I didn't offer yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out by doing about maybe 20 seconds worth of rolls on our hip body. And then we're going to start to go and move our body in any direction we want. And after that 20 seconds, say for another 20 seconds, we just start moving however we want. And then you can add whatever pose you want into it. And for about a minute, this is your moment. This is your class, okay? Now, I'll be doing some stuff, but you don't have to do what I do, but you can. It's up to you. I like to start out by just rolling my hip body. And when I'm rolling that, my navel is touching my spine. I'm using my ab muscles. I'm not just using my upper body. I'm using the belly body, the mid body to help me roll. I'm trying to keep both my sits bones on the ground or on the seat beneath me. Now I want to start to add some extra things into it because, like I said, now we have to listen to ourselves. What is it that you need? And for the rest of this part or portion of the class, I want you to just find what works for you. And even if you want to stand, go ahead and stand. right? I know some people's legs might need a little stretching. Breathe in and breathe out. All I ask is that you breathe. Continue to hear your beautiful breath. Yes, yes, that's what I'm talking about. And for some people, maybe it's just sitting there. You know, that's like our child's pose. That's our base position where we start. You don't have to move at all if you don't feel like it. You do whatever you need to do and know that that is probably the best thing you can do for yourself during this whole class. You making a choice to do a pose on your own. Another 10 seconds, guys. Maybe even close your eyes. Alrighty. We're going to come back to center. Notice your way your body feels now. Just take note of that, the difference, the transition, the change. Arms are going to lift up, reach up overhead. Go through our flow. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise, reach up, lift up, overhead. Bring the hands to heart center. We're going to take our prayer hands. Now we're going to take our fingertips and just start to tilt them back towards our heart. Now our wrists are being exposed in front of us and they're stretching. That's what we want. We want to have that stretch on our wrist. Then on the next breath, in or out, whatever works for you, you're going to take your fingertips and you're just going to point down towards your thighs. Again, feeling that stretch inside of the wrist, but now the other side. And then do this about 4 times in all, allowing the breath to match the movement. Maybe not even focusing on anything else, but just this movement. See if it's something that you can almost meditate on. Clear your mind out from everything else that might be still lingering. Beautiful. Bring your hands by the side. Arms reach up, lift up overhead, but this time we're going to just pivot the body over towards the right. Come back to center. Pivot the body to the left. Back to center. To the right. And then bring the hands to the outside of the right thigh. Okay, so outside the right thigh we go. Your right hand is going to be behind you for support, or you can kind of grip onto the top of your chair, so wherever you feel most comfortable, go for it. Take your chin and look behind you. And we're going to hold this pose for a few moments. Also, while you're doing this, if you feel like you want to close your knees a little bit, you can. If you want to open your legs a little bit, you can do that too. So find some kind of comfortability in the position. And start to just follow the breath, noticing the inhale and what happens as it goes through the throat body, through the chest. If it gets caught anywhere in the belly, just kind of be gentle. Breathing in and out. And maybe even relax the shoulder blades a little bit more. If you want to relax your right hand now and you want to bring it down to the side and to the outside of your right leg, you can. It's only there to start out for support. Take another 5 breaths. 2 and 1. Okay, great. We're going to lift up our arms, coming up, still looking towards our right side, and we're going to pivot back to the center. And then we're going to take our body, and I'm going to move around, probably going to scare the cat, maybe not. And we're going to bring our hands to the left side, make sure we're looking over to the left. Drop the hands, both your right and your left, to the outside of the left leg. Bring your left hand behind you, or if you want to grip onto the top, you can. And look over your left shoulder, taking your gaze over the left shoulder. Keep that hand there as long as you need to. Know it's there for you to get length inside of your spine, and it gives you the ability to bring this breath in, because when you're in this twisted position, sometimes the breath can get caught. So the higher you sit up and the better your alignment, the more you can breathe. And allow the breath to be the only thing you focus on in the body. The breath and the body. Like another 2 more breaths. One more. Gently arms rise up, lift up, looking over towards the left. Come back to center. Keep the hands overhead. And we're going to go straight into our flow. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise, reach up, lift up, overhead. And hands are going to come down by our side. Bring our hands back up. And take your right hand and flip it up towards the ceiling. Wiggle the fingertips if you need to just gain sense or awareness over your right hand. Take your left hand and pop it underneath, and we're just going to pull back and do some hand yoga. Stretching out the arm. We're going to stay here for a second, and everybody together, I want you to keep the connection and bring your elbows by your side. Notice that. This is rest. If at any point you need to rest during the hand yoga, you can just loosen up the wrists, keep the connection, gently touching the fingertips, and bring the elbows by the side. And when you're ready to come back and finish, you can bring your hand back up. Same goes for the other side, okay? We're going to begin by rotating the pinky about 3 times forward. Breathing in, breathing out, and if you can get it in there, about 3 times back. And just take your time. There's no need to rush. You know you can rest when you need to. It's not a race, it's a marathon. Best way to look at it. And don't overextend. Don't put too much pressure or force here. You're just gently allowing this movement to be soft. And then you can finish everything and then just pull back one last time, feeling how the shift has changed inside of your hand and any of the muscles there, and just rotate. So you want to rotate that out because you left your wrist the other way. Now you need to kind of rotate it so it inverts. Great. Arms are going to come up in front of you. Left hand is going to lift. We're going to wiggle the left fingertips. Right hand is going to pop underneath. Pull back. Now, we're going to do the same thing. If you need to take a break, take a break. You know what your resting pose is. Otherwise, we can start with the pinky 3 times forward, 3 times back. Doing your best to focus your full concentration on your fingertips and the breath. If you find yourself getting fatigued here, it's likely because you're holding your breath. As long as you continue to breathe, you're pretty good with the hand yoga. And finally, the thumb. And then all the fingertips come back. And hands come down. And we rotate them. Go through your flow. Arms rise, reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up into mountain pose, arms overhead. And hands come down by the sides. We want to start to loosen up the lower part of the body before we go to our standing poses. So take your right foot. I want you to wiggle your right foot and stretch the right foot out in front of you. Hold on to your chair. Inhale and breathe in. And on the exhale, I want you to poke your toes out towards the right side, straight leg. And then inhale and breathe in and bring your feet back to base. So when you look down, you're like, oh, I see my feet again. Pause for that second, exhale. That's our rest. We're letting it go. Then on our next inhale, we're going to bring our foot forward. The foot is flexed, the toes wave hello. Okay, so we inhale, forward, exhale to the side. Okay, and that's where we point the toes. Inhale, back to center. And then exhale, we just release. Okay, and we just take that moment. So it's 3 movements, and then the 4th is just staying solid. Okay, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, flex the foot. Exhale, point the toes. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, rest. Yes, one more. Forward we go, side we go, center we go, and then we rest. Now we're going to reverse that. We're going to go in the opposite direction. So inhale and breathe in. Exhale, we poke out. Inhale, we flex the foot. Exhale, back to center. This time our inhale is part of our rest. So inhale, breathe in, sit up a little bit taller. Exhale, point out the leg. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more. So point the toe, forward we go, back to the center, and relax. Woohoo! I bet you that feels different. All right, before we go on to the other side, let's go through a flow. Break it up a little bit, and I want you to feel the way your whole side feels on the right side compared to the left. And we're going to get the left to meet the right. So arms lift, forward fold, half lift, forward fold, on back up to mountain pose. Hands come down to grip the chair in front of us. Left toes wiggle, the left foot comes out in front of us. Make sure that the heel is down on the ground. So you can wiggle those toes a little bit. Heel is down on the ground. Feel the stretch in the hamstrings. Inhale, breathe in. Okay, and I think I'm going to have to move over just a little bit so I don't hit nothing. So make sure you have enough room. So now our foot is out. On the next exhale, I want you to poke the toes over towards the left. All right, and then we come back to center on the next inhale after that exhale. And then pause and exhale and release. Inhale, foot is forward, flexing the toes. Exhale, foot is to the side, pointing to toes. Inhale, back to center. Exhale and rest. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. Inhale, center. Exhale, rest. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. Inhale, center. Exhale, rest. Foot forward, pointing the toe, back to center, relax, and rest. Last one, going forward. So bring the foot forward, out to the side, using your breath, back to center, and rest. Inhale, breathe in, sit up nice and tall in the seat. Exhale, point the leg out. And as you're moving your legs, see if you can just activate the glutes and the legs and the thighs. See if there's a way that you're using your core and the legs. So then we come forward, flexing the foot, and back to center. Inhale, lifting up out of the pelvic bowl. Exhale, point. Inhale, flex. Exhale, center. And rest. All right, so inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lift up. Last one. Exhale, point. Inhale, flex. Exhale, center. Inhale, and we rest. All right, let's go through a flow. Arms rise, reach up, lift up, overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms reach up, maybe even back bend slightly. Look up, gaze up, and hands come back down by the side. And this time, roll them right over and bring it around so that you can lift up on your right knee. Interlace the fingers and just cuff the right knee. And it's right underneath the right knee. It's technically still the top of the shin. So you just want to hold your body there. And remember that what we just did with the whole pausing and the inhaling and lifting up out the pelvic bowl? Try to do that right now, keeping the security of the left foot on the ground, using your breath to help you lift up on that knee. Now, wherever you are is fine. You don't have to go far, okay? Breathe in and breathe out. Slowly allow the weight of the knee to just come forward. This is going to pull your shoulder blades apart in a way which is gravity. So it's a gentle way to pull your shoulder blades apart. Bring your chin to your chest and just pause for a moment and sit here. Allow the breath to really travel through the back, the upper back, the lower back, if you can. Feel the belly expand and contract. Use the belly too to help you keep that leg up. Gently bring the chin back up so you can bring your gaze back up and you're able to bring the knee towards the armpit. So you're bringing the right knee towards the right armpit. We're still sitting up nice and tall. We're using the breath with these intervals of rest and breath, relaxation and movement as part of our practice. And then bring the foot back down to the ground. Great. Okay. We're going to lift up the arms and we're going to take our hands and swoop over, right over to the left side. Okay. Again, you're cuffing those fingertips, you're finding that place, making sure that you're using those same muscles from when we did some of these other poses and exercises to really allow us to get the most length that we can up out of our pelvic bowl. And then on the exhale, we're going to let the weight of gravity do the work for us. Our fingertips remain cuffed around the uppermost part of the shin, right below the knee. Chin to the chest. Shoulder blades pull apart. And now it's time for the breath. Bring your full focus and attention to the breath. Notice where it goes. Notice where you want it to go. And breathe. On your next inhale, I want you to lift up your chin and then bring the left knee up towards the left armpit. And gently place the foot back down on the ground. Awesome. Awesome. We're going to go through a flow. Reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. But this time, on your half lift, I want you to squeeze the core and stay there for a moment, and then open up the legs. Breathe in, breathe out, and then exhale, come forward. Now, if you want to hold on to your ankles, you can, or if you want to drop your hands all the way down to the floor, you can, and let your head hang heavy. And shake the head, yes and no. And you're just getting a nice stretch on the inside of your thighs. And then slowly start to walk the hands back up the inside of the leg, coming up to the thigh, bringing the feet back together, arms reach up overhead, and hands come by the side. So that was a remix flow. Great. All right, breathe in, breathe out. We're going to do one more pose, sitting down, and then we're going to go up. So now that our leg is a lot more, what's the word for it? It's a lot more looser. we're going to bring the foot out in front of us, stretching out the hamstring. All right. Now I'm going to give you two variations of what you can do. If you feel as though you're not very flexible today or you have issues with your thighs, just stretch out your leg in front of you on the right side, take your left foot, cross it over, and then just start to lean forward. Extended leg, forward fold. Now, if you feel as though you have the flexibility, we're going to come into a seated half pigeon. And the way you do that is you bring your knee up, just like we did before, and you lay it on top of the thigh. No, you don't have to do either or. I mean, you do which one works best for you. And if neither works for you, just stay seated in your base position. Okay, so once you're up in your half pigeon, you just lean forward and find a place for your hands that works for you. Even if you don't lean very far forward, that's okay. And if your knee is up like this, eventually it'll come down. So it'll just take practice. So you choose whichever pose you'd like to be in. Now we're going to hold it for at least 10 breath cycles. And slowly we're going to start to rise up. We're in the half pigeon. We're going to bring up our belly, chest, and head. And if we're in our extended leg forward fold, we do the same thing. We always rise up from the belly, the chest, and the head. And bring our feet back to center. All right. We're going to go to the left side now. So stretch out the left leg. Place that foot in front of you if you're going to do the extended leg forward fold. All right. Cross the right foot on top and lean forward. If you're doing the other option, which is the seated half pigeon, bring up your left knee towards the armpit and then lay your left foot on top of your right thigh and get yourself into your half pigeon. And breathing in and out, breath by breath. Take about 5 more breath cycles. Slowly, when you're ready, you can begin to come out of the pose. If your leg is extended in front of you, same thing as if you're in seated half pigeon, belly, chest, and then head. We're going to do a flow, and then we're going to come to standing. Arms rise, reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. And hands come down by the side. Perfect. All right, so let's come to standing. Take your time. You're gonna make sure you're right behind your chair. Okay. You want to be in a position too where you're pretty close. Both feet are straight, so we're square with the chair in front of us. Let me just adjust my computer a little bit. It looks like my hands are going to come out. Okay, perfect. All right, let's start by taking our left foot, and I like to always gauge the temperature of our balance. So we're just going to lift up our left foot and hold the chair, but bring it out to the side. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the thighs, and come back, hovering the left foot on the ground. Lifting up and back. Allow the breath to match the movement. Last one. And then we're going to gently place our left foot back down on the ground. We're going to come to the right side and do the same thing. Lifting up, bringing the foot back down. Again, it's hovering. When I say bringing it back down, it's just hovering. Okay, so I'll make sure I come onto that side. Holding on to the chair. 4 in all. And then bring the foot gently back down to the ground. Okay? Now what this does is you should notice how when you're standing here right now, how you feel. How is the weight distributed on your feet? Okay? So keep that in mind as you're doing this class, that standing. It's really important to gauge that. You don't want to fall. You don't want to put yourself in danger or anything. So use the chair when you need to. And if you're more advanced, you don't have to use the chair. All right, so take the left foot, and you're going to take the left foot back, bend the right knee, and then bring the left foot to about a 45-degree angle. So not yesterday, Wednesday, when I was in mat yoga, one of the things that we did was we imagined that there was a meadow on this side, the street was on this side, and then there were farmhouses on this side. So right, straight, and left. Okay? What I want you to think about doing is that your left foot is facing towards the meadow, like it's about to go towards the meadow, but it's still kind of on the street. So it's about a 45-degree angle. Your right foot is completely facing the meadow. All right? You're going to bump your right hip back, bring your right hip forward. All right? And you sit as low as you can, or as low as you feel comfortable in your range into a lunge position. Okay? And now we're going to take our left hand, we're going to bring it up overhead, right? Because when we go to do our warrior, we're still holding on to the chair. We're going to look up, gaze up, warrior 1. If you do not want to use the chair, you bring both hands up, warrior 1. Okay? If you want to use the chair, you keep one hand there. Take the gaze up, clean up your warrior from your feet all the way up to your fingertips. If you want to sit a little bit lower, wrapping those muscles from your thigh body around, or you imagine that you have like a little ball in between your thighs and you're pressing that ball together, you can do that. Slowly, we're going to take that left hand and we're going to bring it behind us. Now, the left hand is completely with the farm. And look over your left shoulder and you're looking at the farm. Your right hand is still towards the meadow, whether you're on the chair or your hands are extended into warrior 2. Keep active. Make sure that your hips are completely strong and they're completely aligned. I don't want to say aligned, but you're kind of opening up your hip body. So even though like we're going forward, your hips may not be able to be completely straight, but if you can get them down that street or down that road in front of you, you can do so the best you can and open up into that warrior 2. Okay, so it requires a little bit of pivoting open on that body. All right, and we're going to hold the warrior 2 for another few moments. And then we're going to start to lean forward. If your hand is on the chair, lean your shoulder forward. And then take that shoulder, and it's like you're tracing a line on the wall. You're going to bring your left hand down to your thigh, your left thigh. And you can take the gaze up and look up. Reverse warrior. If you're in the pose that's not modified, you can bring your hand up and look up, gaze up. All right. Reverse warrior. So you have the modified with the chair and you have the reverse warrior that's not modified. Take another breath in, and then on the exhale, wind back into warrior 2. All right. Breathe in and breathe out. Come forward. Warrior 1. Back to where we started. Hand come down to the chair, both your left and your right. All right, and you're going to take your right foot back to meet the left and just walk it out. Maybe even bring your head towards the top of the chair. And if you just want to stand there, you can, but just soften the knees. Make sure that your knees are not so rigid that you're hurting yourself in any way. You just want to kind of loosen up the hip body. Imagine that you're doing a downward facing dog and that this is the modified version of that. Slowly lift yourself back up. You're going to bring your left foot forward now. Okay? Right foot behind you. Right foot is at that 45-degree angle. All right. Now our left foot is right up straight and it's facing the meadow. Right foot is kind of off to the side. It's kind of in between the meadow and the street, but just on the other side. Okay? And start to soften the knee so that you come down into your lunge on the left side. Find a home for that leg. Now I'm here in this stance, but I'm not saying you have to be in this stance. There's a range. You can go in place your feet in any place that you feel most comfortable. So we're going to take our right hand, lift it up. Make sure we're still in a nice warrior one. Take the gaze up, look up, lift up out of the pelvic bowl, sit a little bit lower into the legs. Feel those muscles activate, wrapping around the thigh body, all the way down to the feet, become completely active. No need to rush warrior one. We're here, we've arrived. On the next exhale, take the right hand behind you. If you want to bring the left hand up in front of you, you can. Take your gaze over the right shoulder. And this is our warrior two. Our hips are now poking straight towards the street on the other side. So as much as we can, we're just doing that pivot in theoretical, right? And we're looking over to the farm. Slowly inhale and breathe in. And on the exhale, start to lean that hand forward. On the left side, if you're holding onto the chair, lean your left shoulder forward. Trace that line all the way up to the sky. Bring your right hand towards the right thigh, reverse warrior. If you're in the position that is not modified, bring your left hand up overhead and make sure you're looking at that palm. If this doesn't feel comfortable or you feel off balance, just keep your fingertips on the chair. Come back into warrior two. Pause for a moment. And then we're going to come back into warrior one. Beautiful, nice, strong warrior. Bring the hands down to the chair. Bring your left foot back now to meet your right. And find that place that's comfortable to you. And before we come back up, I want you to walk your feet all the way back to the edge of your mat as much as you can, continuing to hold on to the top of the chair. Straight back body. Soften the knees though. Always keep the knees soft. And extend, almost like you're coming out of your shoulder blades, into your arms, into your fingertips. And you're pressing your hands forward, but at the same time, your hip body, if you kind of wiggle it a little bit, is pressing back towards the wall behind you. Knees are soft, no rigid knees here. Breathe in and breathe out, and then on the next inhale, allow for your head to come up. You're just looking right over the chair. Chin is away from the chest. And on the exhale, chin tucks down to the chest. The back body kind of maybe dome shapes a little bit, but the belly kind of curves in a little bit. And then we're going to reverse that. Look up. This is really good for the back. And then tuck the chin back into the chest. And that's the last one. Come back to center. Holding the pose. And then start to walk your feet forward. Walk, walk. Take your time. Look up, gaze up. And stay like this for a second. This is our mountain pose. If you want to stand with your hands actually by the side or holding on to the side of your chair, you can. You can also lift your hands overhead if you like. That's your choice. I'm going to keep my hands here and just continue to breathe. Feel the full essence of the body and the breath. Allow your mountain to be dignified in every way, from the roots and the base where your feet are, completely supported on the ground to the crown of the head. And if you're holding on to the chair, that root ends up becoming from the chair as well. So it extends to the chair. On your next exhale, come back down to sitting to your seat, taking your time. Just make sure we're not running over time. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. And close your eyes. Feel the full length of your body as we prepare for Savasana. Notice what it feels like to transition back into a seat, and from the seat we stood and then back into the seat. Notice if your body needs anything else, any other pose, feel free to take that pose right now. Start to just close the eyes and focus in on the breath. And congratulations. Also focus on giving yourself that congratulations for a job well done. You didn't have to do yoga today, but you did. You honored your body, and whatever intentions that you set for the class, by all means. If you were unable to keep them, you know tomorrow is another day. And if you were successful, that's beautiful. And that's a very big accomplishment as well. Either way, you've done well and you've gave it your best. And that is enough. Until I ring the singing bowl, continue to stay in Savasana. Breath by breath, moment by moment. When you're ready, you can gently wiggle the toes and allow some light to come into the eyes. Bring your hands to the heart center. And thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and namaste. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Rochelle. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.